Last Sunday, Reverend Shannon mentioned a bridge that we are on right now with anger and fear on one side and love and freedom on the other side. And she said, and this love is always beckoning to us. Collectively, we're about halfway across the bridge. And we carry with us all that we've learned, all the lessons as we travel from one side to the other. So as we stand in the middle of this experience, we have no idea what is to come. But what we can do in this middle place is stop and take a moment to integrate all that has been in our lives, all of the lessons, and then rest, thereby giving us greater balance of sense of self and strengthening our sense of purpose and faith before we move forward. In this place, we rejuvenate and then reawaken to the source of our being, which is love. Did I mention rest? Well, I woke up Tuesday morning after not a lot of sleep due to the high winds, the fires going on, the power outages, to a Facebook message from my daughter-in-law thanking me for a flock of flamingos I had ordered to be placed on their lawn celebrating their 3rd anniversary. Even though I was totally exhausted, I ended up with a huge smile on my face. To me, this is living, creating situations where others can feel love, joy, and know that they matter. So this is where I, taking time to rest, can feel strengthened in my faith and inner knowingness to make the world a better place, one person, one couple at a time. Does this mean that I'm still not tired? No. It takes a lot to get back those hours of lost sleep and continued stress, all of the things Reverend Shannon mentioned last week. But at least it is something. And those two, my son and daughter-in-law, had a very good laugh because of it. So rest. What will help us get to the other side of the bridge? Reverend Shannon also mentioned that we need to recognize the polarity we find in ourselves during this time and remember that we are resilient and need to carry on to help repair this world. And remember to protect our heart for our own well-being. This means turning away from Facebook, the news, all of the opinions of others out there and doing what we need to do in order to regroup and connect once again with Spirit, Source, God, love. Meditating, a walk in nature, a call to a friend, all these things Rev Shannon mentioned. And then to set a timer to recharge with the absolute intention to return. She talked about a parable of the monks who had come down from the mountain daily to get rice in the village and finding it so difficult to be amongst the energy of the villagers, quickly got what they needed and headed back up to retreat into their sanctuary. In this place, they could once again recharge, build up their spiritual strength, add their prayerful energy into the world, sing peace, joy, and love. Well, I believe that we each need to determine for ourselves what amount of time we need to recharge. I find myself as an empath, especially of late, having such great difficulty just living in the world at this time. So for me, I may need more time to recharge than you might. And this isn't a competition to see who can recharge faster or stay present to the news longer or anything else. This is about how can I best take care of myself? Well, there's a great poem by John Wellwood called Forget About Enlightenment. Forget about enlightenment. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing in your veins. Feel the love, the longing, and the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now. Not who you would like to be, not the saint you're striving to become, but the being right here before you, inside you, around you. All of you is holy. You're already more and less than whatever you can know. Breathe out, touch in, let go. Oh, the song let it grow reminded me of a Bible quote that I've used in many ceremonies throughout the years. In Ecclesiastes 3, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Hello? That just cracked me up when I read that again. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak. These are just a few of the lines in that scripture. I bring this up again just to establish that for us, there is a time to do what is needed once again to get closer to the presence and the power that moves in, through, and as us. And in order for me to plant your love and let it grow, like in the song, I need to take the time to find that love within me. If I don't feel like I have any love to plant, then how can I add my own light to humanity? How much time do I need to recharge? How much time do you need to recharge? Recently, one of our practitioners, Sarah Forbes, mentioned a book for us to read called Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus. It follows the life of a couple of caterpillars, their fear of what's next, their pull to transform, and then their transformation into butterflies and their journey along the way. Well, like the caterpillar, first we need to know that we are meant to be a true light that shines in this world. In the book, one caterpillar who is questioning its existence says to another caterpillar that's creating its cocoon, "Tell me, sir, what is a butterfly?" "It's what you are meant to become. It flies with beautiful wings and joins the earth to the heaven. It drinks only nectar from the flowers and carries the seeds of love from one flower to another." How can I believe there's a butterfly inside you or me when all I see is a fuzzy worm? Isn't that the big question for all of us? How can I be a shining light in the world when at times all I see is myself struggling right now? Continuing on with the metaphor of us becoming the butterfly, adding love into the world, I want you to note the life cycle of the butterfly. Once an egg is laid, it takes up to 2 weeks to birth into a caterpillar. Then it takes another 2 weeks to a month before the caterpillar spins its cocoon, turning into a chrysalis. And then it can be 5 to 21 days and up to 3 years, believe it or not, in certain conditions, that pupa is waiting for the rain or good conditions for the adult to emerge. Can you imagine? 5 to 21 days and up to 3 years to come out of that time, to emerge. After that time, it takes 30 minutes to 2 hours until they can fly. And then after that, most of its life, it's lived for 2 to 10 days. And then it dies. So think about that. Most of the life of the caterpillar is in the chrysalis form. And then it lives for 2 to 10 days after that, after it comes out and dies. So you see, even the life cycle of the butterfly varies greatly. The time spent in transformation inside the cocoon is the greatest portion of its life. So I would say this time for us, our time to go inward, to rest, takes as long as it's going to take, according to what we feel deeply within. In order to become a butterfly, the caterpillar has to fall apart completely, decomposed down to its very essence, devoid of any shape or consciousness. It literally dies. There's nothing left of it. And then from this liquid essence, the butterfly starts to put itself together from scratch. Can you imagine? Well, I believe this is what we are all being called to right now. I would say our whole world, our witnessing of what is happening right now, gives us the perfect opportunity to go within, fall apart, die to the current way of being in order to recreate who and how we will be in the world. So I am going to take note from the great French philosopher Albert Camus, who said this: "In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. And that makes me happy. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back." I love that last line so much, for it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. Well, what is that that's pushing back? What is it that is guiding me, assisting me in the world right now? Well, I believe it is the presence and the power that moves in, through, and as each one of us. This is what I place my faith in, knowing that this too shall pass, and that while I am in this place of uncertainty, dying to the old and recreating the new of me, that I am always safe. So here then, I decide to rest. And it is from this place of rest, going within, recognizing who I am and who I desire to be, that I find that something better. To me, it's inner faith, a resilience as a human being on this planet to be all that I can be. From Jeff Foster's The Way of Rest, Finding the Courage to Hold Everything in Love, he says this: "When you're exhausted, rest. If you don't feel like starting a new project, don't. If you don't feel the urge to make something new, just rest in the beauty of the old, the familiar, the known. If you don't feel like talking, stay silent. If you're fed up with the news, turn it off. If you want to postpone something until tomorrow, do it. If you want to do nothing, let yourself do nothing today. Feel the fullness of the emptiness, the vastness of the silence, the sheer life in your unproductive moments. Time does not always need to be filled. You are enough, simply in your being." Isn't that beautiful? So please remember, even in the silence, even in the stillness, even in those so-called unproductive moments, you are being incredibly productive. You are being you. You're being breathed by the universe. You're an amazing, magnificent expression of the divine, and you are so enough just in your living, just in your existence. So be okay with going within, with connecting once again with spirit. Set your timer and recharge with the absolute intention to return. Sow the seeds of love within yourself now, and then let that love grow. I can already see how fully you will shine your light into this world once you are ready to fully engage again. You are so loved. Thank you for being you.